John Crowder made a promise to America when he honorably served his country as a Marine. He worked hard all of his life, paying into Social Security since he was a teenager. Always self-sufficient, John planned responsibly for his retirement.
Some of my IRAs at the time were doing well at the time. They go up, they go down. But I was nowhere near ready to retire. The money I had saved up simply wasn't enough. Simply wasn't enough.
A neurological disease ended his career in 1994. At the age of 49, John was nowhere near ready to retire.
You just pick up, dust yourself off, and go do something else. But you gotta have an underpinning. And that's where Social Security is a network. Something that keeps you going and keeps you from falling totally into the chasm.
John has purchased equipment that keeps him on the go with his retirement savings. Because of his Social Security disability insurance, John can be an advocate for the city of Capitola, California, who keeps an eye on the needs and interests of his community.
Without it, I would be totally, it would be a struggle just to put food in my mouth. So it's enabled me to live like a human being.
Social Security enables people to live with dignity. In 2005, 48 million Americans will receive benefits, and not just retirees. Social Security protects you while you work with disability benefits and survivor benefits for your family should you die. AARP National President Marie Smith spent 25 years with the Social Security Administration.
Social Security is the only pillar standing strong for them.
In her heart, she carries the memory of her first day on the job.
A woman came in with 3 or 4 children, young, and her husband had died suddenly, and her life had ended. Here was a woman in dire straits. And when I finished the interview with her and I told her how much money she would probably get for each of the children, I saw the transformation. You could just see it. It was like, I might be able to make it. I might be able to do this. And I saw a woman saved, and I became a believer in that organization from that moment on.
Many retirees enjoy a comfortable retirement with Social Security, pensions, and savings. But for 22% of the elderly, Social Security is their only source of income.
I depend solely on my waiting for the end of the month for my Social Security.
When Elizabeth Montero's husband died, she was left to raise 4 children, alone. Social Security survivor benefits saved her life then and now.
How are we going to survive without it?
Elizabeth need not worry. The Social Security Trust Fund will be large enough to pay full benefits for decades. If no changes are made, it would still be able to pay 70% for many years. But 70% is not fair to our children and grandchildren. Social Security needs to be strengthened. But how?
As we fix Social Security, we also have the responsibility to make the system a better deal for younger workers. And the best way to reach that goal is through voluntary personal retirement accounts.
The President's plan, which would use payroll taxes to pay for private accounts, has sparked a national debate. Henry J. Aaron is a senior fellow in economic studies at the Brookings Institution and an expert on Social Security.
Diverting payroll taxes into private accounts will actually lower Social Security benefits.
In the long run, a system of individual accounts would just result in the most horrible administrative mess, and the whole system would go down the drain.
I personally would like to see them simply continue Social Security as is, and if people want private accounts, set up an arrangement like we already have with IRAs and 401s, where they can expand on that at their option.
I think private accounts would hurt Social Security It's there to be a safety net for people who, for whatever reason, weren't able to invest for themselves.
They should maintain the system that they have in place, which allows people to be able to pay for their food, shelter their families, and take care of them. Because there are a lot of grandparents, especially in the African American community, who do have custody of their smaller grandchildren.
There wouldn't be Social Security ultimately if private accounts get expanded. It undermines the whole purpose of Social Security, which is the emphasis is on security. It's like an insurance program. That would be gone. People would be at risk.
I don't think we're disciplined enough to have the private accounts, as you can tell by our credit card spending.
And I'm nervous about people, and potentially myself, not being able to manage my money and looking down the road and then not having the money that I need at a time in my life when I would need it.
Let's not erode the foundation of Social Security to provide for something that people privately should provide for, to supplement their Social Security.
And I think it's important for people to take their own responsibility for retirement planning, but the guarantee of a Social Security income is one of the building blocks of individual responsibility.
Social Security has withstood the test of time to become America's most successful program.
So this is it, and I'll get one every month.
For 70 years, America has kept its promise to workers and retirees, and we must keep that promise tomorrow by working together to find solutions that will strengthen the system and make a lasting difference for them.
Let's do what we have to do to make an adjustment, get through it, but keep it so that I can look my kids in the eye and say, yeah, when you're 60, 70, whatever the retirement age, it's going to be appropriate when they get there. There'll be something for you, and you can count on it, because that's just the way we do things. That's part of being an American.